What's up? My name is Jordan Carroll, and this Kickstarter is for my book, Remote for Life. It's always been a dream of mine to write a published book, and not just so that I could write a 70,000 word manuscript, print it out, and then make it rain. Good thing there's a digital version of that. What I'm excited to present to you today is an opportunity to immortalize yourself in a project that I consider my life's greatest work to date. And by supporting me at this stage in the process, you'll get access to some pretty cool, exclusive that won't be available anywhere else. Now, who am I and what is Remote for Life? As I mentioned, my name is Jordan Carroll. I also go by the Remote Job Coach, and I help high performers land legitimate remote jobs to gain more freedom and flexibility in their lives. I've worked remotely since 2013 in a variety of industries, companies, roles, from small and mid-sized startups to a Fortune 50 firm to my businesses as well. I've lived in over 15 countries while working remotely, and I focus on creating valuable courses, coaching programs, and content like this book to help you understand your options of finding locational independence with your work. Thousands of remote job seekers have used my advice from the resources I've created online. I've coached hundreds of job seekers personally, and I see this book as my ability to scale my impact even further with my goal of impacting millions of lives with this information. See, nothing has been more significant in allowing me to live the lifestyle I want to live other than remote work. And I want to help you use remote work as your tool to get what you want in life.
Let the tool do the work.
Hence the play on words of the book, Remote for Life, because remote work was my remote for life. I could change the channel, press the buttons. I want to be remote for the rest of my life. Anyway, I created the first version of the outline of this book in 2018, and there has never been a time that I've been more relieved that I procrastinated.
Well, I haven't started it yet.
So much has changed in the landscape of remote work adoption, acceptance, and innovation because of COVID that if I had written it back then, it wouldn't even make sense now.
It doesn't make any sense.
But in January of 2021, I decided I was gonna pick the book back up and restart the project. I got in touch with Scribe Media, my now publishing company that's published books like Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman, and multiple Wall Street Journal bestsellers. And my work since that time, in January of 2021, to start this, over a year ago, has led to the point where we're at right now, where I'm almost ready to launch this book to the world. This book and the education that I want you to absorb from it is not about being like me. It's about living your ideal remote life and giving you a guide to find a working arrangement that will suit you the best, especially when it comes to remote first companies that are hiring people in droves right now. Whether that's giving you the flexibility to move to a different state, to be with a significant other, or take care of a family member. Whether you want to travel the world and you want to work in different countries each month. Whether you want to have the choice to go into an office or not on any given day, rather than being forced into that decision by your company. Whether you're from a country where there are less remote work opportunities and you have no idea what options are available to you. Whether you've never worked remotely before, you don't know how to navigate the remote landscape, you don't know what skills would even be transferable.
I have no idea what's going on.
Even if you've worked remotely before, if you work remotely right now and you're just looking for your next challenge, or you want to know how to attract even better remote companies to be coming to your door to choose you, there will be something in this book for you. I promise you that. And I can't wait for you to learn it. I want to help you become the best remote candidate that you can be for remote first companies, both in the strategy of how you search for jobs and how you actually become a better remote employee. All of this is so that you can live your ideal remote lifestyle. I also really like the word remote, and I try to say it as many times as I can, apparently. To learn more about the content in the book itself, you can read the description in the Kickstarter, and I actually outline the chapters and some of the additional details if that level of granularity is what you need. Now let's talk about why Kickstarter and what's in it for you if you support this project. Kickstarter, if you don't know a lot about it, is a platform that allows creators to crowdfund their creative projects. For me personally, it's an incredible way to offer limited edition versions of this book and rewards that you wouldn't get by just purchasing the book during an Amazon launch. For instance, because I'm running the Kickstarter prior to being fully done with the book, everyone who backs my project will get their name printed in the book. I'm also going to sign your copy.
What, do you want an autograph or something?
Write you a personal note and hand ship it to you.
How cool is that?
I want you to be involved in this process with me, and by packaging the different tiers on Kickstarter, I feel I'm best able to deliver on that. So if you want to be part of what I'm building, I'd love to have you during this phase of the process. But please note, after the Kickstarter and once the book is fully finished, there will be a separate Amazon launch where you'll be able to purchase the book if you want to wait until then. But because at that time it will be fulfilled by Amazon, those copies won't come with some of the awesome rewards that I'm offering, but they will be less expensive. Now, I'm going to quickly walk through some examples of what you'll get by backing this project, but please read the description because I've written everything out, and the different reward tiers are on the right side, so you can read through those and determine which one is right for you. There are 2 categories of people that this Kickstarter is for. The first is that you're a remote job seeker, or you're someone who is considered a candidate for a remote company and you want to learn how to improve your search strategy or become the best version of yourself. The second category are leaders of remote first organizations who are looking to sponsor this book to solidify and legitimize their remote culture, attract top tier talent, and be mentioned in this context as a leader in the remote space in this text. And I guess there'd be a third part where neither of those apply to you, but you just want to support. I love those kind of people too. Let's start with remote job seekers because that's primarily who this book is for. I'm not going to go through the entire list of all the rewards because you can go read them in the listing, but from a high level, everyone who purchases either a paperback or a hardcover book during this Kickstarter will get a physical signed copy of the book, a Kindle version of the book, a handwritten note of thanks from me, a social media shout out, a virtual resource library of PDFs and templated exercises to use along with the book, access to my virtual launch party,
You lucky from wearing pants.
automatic acceptance into my talent collective where I introduce job seekers to remote first companies, and you'll get your name in the freaking book to show everyone who ever reads it that you supported the Kickstarter, which to me is dope as fuck. Then going up from the first tier, you can also purchase a bundle with my video course and mastermind community called the Remote Job Club. This includes video lessons that complement the chapters extremely well. So if you learn well with video and you want to see real live examples of some of the things I talk about in the book in that type of format, that's a great option for you, and you also get a discount on the course. I also include coaching options ranging from a live group Q&A call
I'm gonna take some questions from the people.
to private one-on-one time, a 2-month VIP accelerator program, all the way to spending an entire day or even a week with me in Mexico for a retreat. There's a lot of details here, so if you have questions, feel free to ask them as you read through if anything's unclear. It's hard to be able to address all of this in one video, but I just hope that it makes enough sense being able to read through it. Now, for remote first companies, if you're a leader at one of those organizations, you want to get your name out there. You want help with hiring. You want to immortalize your remote first culture in a book that is guaranteed to be an Amazon bestseller and hopefully impact millions and millions of lives, then I've got some shit for you too. There are multiple levels of sponsorship, but each company or brand that sponsors gets featured in the book, actually printed inside of the book. My newsletter, a social media shout out, backlinked on my website, and other launch promotions. And I know that, for companies, being able to see where their marketing dollars is really important. I'll also have some basic analytics that I can provide, but I recommend that any company that is involved in the sponsorship can send me trackable links, because I know that's how we can ultimately see what the ROI is on doing something like this. Beyond the basic sponsorship, I can also help you hire. I have a talent collective of ready-to-work all-stars that are looking for stellar remote first companies to work at. I have a job board where I can help you get targeted traffic to your job listings, and we can even do custom interviews and content depending on what makes the most sense for you. Are you excited yet, like I am? There are also some select add-ons you can get during checkout, whether you're a job seeker or a company. If you want to buy extra books, you want to get a personalized video review of your resume or your LinkedIn, no matter what your interest is in this project, read through it carefully, and I think you'll find something that fits you. Now let's transition to timeline, publishing process, what's left to do, because this part is very important. Let me first say this book is happening. Whether or not my Kickstarter is funded, I will be publishing Remote for Life with Scribe Media, and we are absolutely pumped to do that. When we look at the timing of what's left, there are multiple moving parts. There is the book production itself, there is the Kickstarter campaign, and then there is the official Amazon launch. Starting with book production, I already have a manuscript done. The paper I threw up in the air at the beginning of this video was the actual manuscript. At the moment, it's 70,000 words. Our goal is to get it down to 50,000. So here are some of my timeline goals going forward. From May to July, these are the months that I'm anticipating this Kickstarter launch. That's where all these extra perks are going to be available for you to be able to support me in that way. It's really helpful, again, as an author, to be able to pre-sell books on Kickstarter, assuming that I get fully funded to be able to get access to those funds. I'll be doing podcasts, speaking gigs, and hoping that many of you will feel compelled to not only be part of Kickstarter, but to share the Kickstarter with your friends and your family. During that time, in the background, I'll also be continuing to edit the manuscript, trying to get it down to 50,000 words with my editor. We'll also be working on the graphics that will be in the book with my graphic designer. We'll also be finalizing the endorsements and the blurbs that go into the book. I'll be getting quotes approved from different experts that are going to appear inside the pages. I want to make sure that all the exercises for the resource library match the book copy, approving the back cover and the author description. Yo, writing a book, my God, it is so much work, and I really could have never prepared myself for how much it actually takes out of you, but we're gonna get this done. Don't worry, and it's gonna be awesome. Once the Kickstarter is done in July, we'll be adding in these special pages. These pages will highlight all the people who supported the Kickstarter and also all the companies that sponsored. We'll be updating the Kickstarter community, we'll be sending out emails on all the progress, and we want to make sure that we get everybody's addresses for the books when they get shipped out, all that good stuff. Then, once we've got all that in place, which would likely be around August, it takes about 6 weeks for proofreading. Then about 6 weeks of the layout being finalized and converted into the book takes us to about November. And then the book printing takes about 2 weeks or maybe a little bit more to ship to me, where I'm gonna be handwriting letters, signing each book, and shipping everyone out of these myself. I would enlist my dog Mandy to help, but her paws make it nearly impossible to close a bubble mailer. My goal is to be able to have all of this out and done by the December holiday season, so this book can be a gift if that's something you're considering. But there is a fair warning that I will give you. There are always risks within this process and unanticipated delays that can happen, so please, 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 patience is a virtue. Please be patient with me and understand I'm human. I'm trying to make this the best that it can be. I have an amazing team around me, but pulling off what we're trying to pull off takes an incredible amount of time, effort, and energy. Again, once all the Kickstarter stuff is done and the book is actually formatted and ready, it will launch on Amazon as well, where everyone who also supported the Kickstarter will get a free copy of the digital version of the book, which will likely be ready before the printed version that will be mailed to you. And of course, if you just want to wait for this to be out on Amazon and you don't care about all these other perks and me signing things for you and all that stuff, that's totally fine. I understand, because it will also be more affordable. I have no idea how this is going to do. I have cautious optimism, but also supreme confidence in the work that I've done, that this is going to pay off. So depending on how well we do with this Kickstarter, there are going to be stretch goals in place that if we reach those, everyone will benefit. So I will keep people updated on that. Make sure you keep checking back on the Kickstarter updates to see where we're at with those. Now, shipping. If you're in the United States, I seem to be able to get some pretty good rates on media mail from USPS, which is how I'm planning to ship these books. If you are not in the United States, you'll notice that shipping can be expensive depending on where you're at. I'm not adding additional money for handling or anything else. It's just what it costs to get international shipping of these books to your location. So if the shipping makes this too expensive for you, I totally understand. My recommendation would be to wait until the book is out on Amazon, because then you can just buy it digitally, or the shipping from Amazon and the fulfillment from Amazon will probably be cheaper. And that's it, I think. I'm sure that there's more questions that are going to come up in this process. I tried to make a video general enough that if things change in the description, I don't have to completely remake this. My team and I have worked extremely hard to produce something that's going to legitimately change your life. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on this. I've spent countless, I don't know how many hours. It's hundreds or thousands of hours on this. I've put my soul into this. I hope that you'll consider backing this project. Till next time, keep wandering. You're not lost.